Hello class, it's Professor Streeter, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about the weekly tasks and expectations that I have for you in the ethics class. Let me put myself in the corner again, and I'm going to look at a slideshow that we can talk about a little bit in class as well, but I'm going to talk you through it here in this video. Okay, so this is a philosophy class, and I want to say a couple things about what that means. It's not a class in which I'm going to be teaching you what to think or what to do. Ethics concerns questions about how we live and how we act and how we should live and how we should act. Raises questions about that, questions about values and the good that we're seeking in life and how best to go about promoting more of that good, and what to do when we come up against conflicts of value that might give us an incentive to lie or do some harm to another person. Why shouldn't we do things like that as a way of resolving our conflicts? So those are ethical questions, but the goal is not to teach you what to think about that or what to do, but rather it's a practice. Think of philosophy, and ethics is an area of philosophy. It's a practice of thinking critically, thinking about how you think, and thinking about how you act, reflecting more on why you do what you do and how you could justify it to another person if they asked, why are you doing that, right? The reflective moment is to take that question seriously and consider the grounds or the foundation or the principles that govern you in your life and how they shape specific decisions. But that practice, it's like any muscle, you have to work it, okay? And that takes place with other people, in dialogue with other people, or in reading, right? That can be a conversation or discussion in class, or a dialogue you have with a piece of writing where you're engaging with the voice of the writer. And there's a kind of back and forth. So philosophy is a practice of thinking critically. So the goal is learning how to become accountable, how to become more accountable to what you think, to what you say, to what you do. So we can think about what that means. What does it mean to become more accountable? All right, so one way to think about that is in terms of specific skills that we can work on together in class, like how to make arguments. The more inclined I am to defend what I do with an argument, the more accountable I am to what I've done. I see myself as having a responsibility to explain myself, to defend myself. That's one way of thinking about accountability, right? Taking seriously the habit and the practice of making arguments, defending yourself. Part of that is also thinking about what other people say and what other people do, how to read and respond to other people's arguments. Right? If I only pay attention to my own thinking and to my own arguments, and I don't listen to other voices, right, I become less accountable in my life. Right? So who am I accountable to? Myself, but also to others. Right? I have to answer to other people sometimes. So that's part of the skill of argument, right? Is learning how to engage with other people and a back and forth. How to express yourself and your ideas more clearly and consistently in your writing. Okay, this is another skill that we'll develop together in this class. And it's all part of what I mean and what I hope you can start thinking about, right? What does it mean to be accountable to myself, to other people? This is not the whole of it, but part of it has to do with the skill of arguments, of reading, and of expressing yourself in your writing and orally. Okay. So that's just a kind of big picture of what we're doing in this class and how one way to think about an ethics class. What are our tasks, weekly tasks? Well, one, reading, right? Expect to read about 50 pages a week. You can look on the D2L course calendar and the weekly content modules on D2L for the assignments. It's there in the calendar on your syllabus. Reading is something we'll do a lot of together this semester. Whatever you pick up, whatever book you're opening, or if you're reading digitally, do a skim on the first time round, okay? Look for the main idea in each paragraph, the main conclusion that you think the author is drawing toward the end, the questions and assumptions that they're making in the beginning, some basic concepts and principles that you think they're using over the course of the essay. Okay, the readings that we're doing in this class all take the form of arguments. So the author is making an argument. So on the first read, just get a sense of the overall argument that you think they're making, and then go back with a notebook or however you take notes and begin to take notes paragraph by paragraph on your second read. What's happening in this paragraph? What's the central claim that the author is making? What questions do I have as a reader? Maybe jot down vocabulary words that you don't know, concepts that are unfamiliar with you, thoughts that you have along the way. Keep track of that. It'll help you understand what you're reading. It'll help you write about it. It'll help you talk about it in class. And it'll help you get in the practice of being more accountable to your thinking. What are you thinking? Why are you thinking it? If you try to do that with another thinker, you'll get in the habit of doing that for yourself. So that's a big part of the class. We meet every Wednesday, and so 20% of your grade is based on sort of being there, participating in the activities that we do in class. Some of those will be written assignments, so completing those assignments. Some of those will be group activities, which are largely oral, but you'll get credit for what we do in the classroom. Not just for being there, but for participating in the activities, completing the assignments. So that's 20% of your grade. There's also part of the classroom grade is online, posting threads in the discussion forums each week. 20% of your grade is based on homework writing that you'll do at home. You can turn it in class or turn it in online to the assignment folders. There'll be 6 what I call reading reflections, and these are chances to reflect on what we're reading. Sometimes I'll give you a very specific prompt with questions. Sometimes I'll just ask you to focus on a specific passage. Each homework will be different, but there's 6 of them spread out over the course of the semester. They're due on Sunday by the end of the week in which they're due, or you can turn them in class, and you could submit them to the the folder online, or give a hard copy to me in class. Okay, we'll talk about those over the course of the semester. The goal is to get better at writing short reflections on what we're reading. I want to see progress. 10% of your grade is based on multiple choice quizzes that are spread out over the semester. There'll be 7 of them, starting with week 1. The first homework assignment isn't due until week 2, but the first quiz is due at the end of week 1. Those are timed, so take it by Sunday. Sometimes the quizzes will be administered in class, but I think by and large these will be online quizzes. You get 2 chances, and the highest score counts toward your quiz grade. Again, these are reading comprehension quizzes, multiple choice, designed to help you gauge how closely and carefully you're doing the reading. And then finally, so that's about half the grade for the, that's about, in terms of the grade you earn at the end of the semester. Half of it is based on the classroom, the homework, and the quizzes. The other half, I'll ask you to write 2 essays, and then there'll be 2 exams. Okay. The most important thing to think about for the essays here is that it's a process, a scaffolding process of doing bit by bit. Right, so there will be drafts and revisions. You'll get credit for both drafts and the revisions. And I'll give you feedback as we move through the process. Both the drafts and the revisions will be turned into the assignment folder so that I can comment on them online. And you can see your Turnitin score, which tells you something about how well you're utilizing sources. So we can look at that together online, and we can talk about it in class. Okay, aim for about 5 pages for each essay. If you want to write a little more, that's great. Then the exams are weighted evenly. The midterm will cover what we've been reading the first half of the semester, and the final exam will cover what we've been reading the second half of the semester. These are not comprehensive exams. I won't ask you to write about everything we've been talking about. You'll have choices what to do, and the format for the exams will be made. I'll explain that as we get closer, okay, to the midterm. Those are going to be take-home assignments that you turn in to the assignment folder. We're not going to write exams in class, Although I might have an in-class portion for the final exam. So part of the final exam might take place in class. I haven't decided yet. Okay, so those are the tasks. Tips for success. Take notes when you read. Here, let me come back and make sure we're not running out of time. Okay, we have a few minutes left. Okay, so let me just talk about sort of quick tips for success in this class. Take notes when you read. Right? I talked about that earlier. Jot down questions for class discussion or for the online discussion. Right? The more questions you share in class and online, right, the more I think you'll get from this class, and the more obviously feedback you'll get from others. Right? If you don't share, you're not going to get a lot of feedback. If you have questions about what's going on, start by looking at your PSC Gmail. Okay, look at the announcement page on D2L, look at the content modules. If you still can't figure it out, email me, send me a personal email, or post something on the Class Cafe. We can also obviously talk about concerns you have during office hours or during class. But we don't have a lot of class time, so I want to focus on what we're doing as a group. So specific individual concerns, try to reserve those for after class or before class or office hours or online questions, emails. You can post something in the Class Cafe. All right, and then open up, share your ideas in class on the discussion forum, right? The more you share of yourself, the more you open up, I think that the more you'll get from this class. And then finally, don't worry about perfection, right? There's going to be essays to write in this class. Make sure to turn in some version of it when it's due, even if you don't feel great about it, because you can always go back and rewrite it. I'll give you feedback. So turn it in. With the homework assignments, they're going to be, you'll have like a week or so to do each homework assignment. Turn it in even if you don't feel great about it, okay? You're going to get better. The goal is to get better, is to show progress in your writing. The only way to do that is by letting it go out into the world and letting me see it. I promise I will be kind, and my comments will be aimed at helping you think about how to make it better. Okay, but so that's really important, right? That you turn stuff in and don't worry about being perfect. Think about progress, about getting better. It's a process. I already mentioned office hours. I encourage you to schedule office hours this semester to talk to me privately. We can do that on campus. We can do that virtually. But it's a really good way to kind of track what you're getting from the class, to share your concerns, and to sort of really hash things out one-on-one with me. Again, I'll be a good listener, right? So when you come to my office, it's about you and what you want to share with me, and I'll try my best to help you work through whatever issues you have. And then try to establish connections with your classmates. I think this is another, so opening up, right, to your classmates, not just to me, right, but to your classmates, and learning from them, right, and sort of think of each other as, fellow travelers, right, on this road together. And what can you learn from each other? And that's also part of the practice of accountability, right? I want you to care about each other, listen to each other, right? And develop a sense that, if I have a thought, I want to be able to articulate it, explain it, share it with my classmates, right? That's important to me, right? I hope you can come to class feeling that way, but the only way to feel that way is by talking to each other and sort of getting to know each other a little bit, okay? I obviously am going to try to do that myself every day, connect with you. And I'm accountable to you, right? I'm your teacher. I'm accountable to you. I have certain responsibilities to you, right? I hope you can sort of come to see yourself that way in the classroom, like that you respect each other and have certain responsibilities to each other as students, okay? All right, that's it for this video. I hope that was useful. And just going through the weekly tasks and expectations that I have for you this semester in ethics. Look forward to working with you this semester.